Hello John, today we're going to talk about the executive in Northern Ireland. Do you think there's an onus on any particular party to re-establish the executive?
Hello Oliver. Yeah, Northern Ireland is in the news now for a variety of reasons. Now, the executive or the governing, the people that govern as ministers in Northern Ireland since subsequent to the Good Friday Agreement as is known, and the Belfast Agreement as the Unionists and them call it, so they can't even agree on the terms of the agreement, so it gives some indication of the way they look at things. I just mentioned just one thing in passing on this. There was a football match between Celtic and Linfield in Northern Ireland the past few days. Linfield, obviously, which I didn't know, is supported by the Protestant people in that area. The abuse and the missiles hurled at the Celtic footballers should be condemned out of hand. The manager of Linfield, as a matter of fact, there was a Celtic player going to take a sideline ball when a bottle just missed him by inches. He showed the bottle to the referee, Spanish referee, a lunatic from Spain, that gave him a yellow card for his trouble, when he should have conferred with a sideline man and see what happened. I mean, anyway, that is the sort of behaviour that the Protestant supporters put on Glasgow Celtic, which is supposed to represent the Catholic team, was founded by a priest nearly 100 years ago to give Catholics some experience of sport. Now, the executive, as I say, is a government for that area. It brought some stability. It brought stability to the area, as anyone that has visited that 6 counties recently. I visited myself, never having gone to it, twice or 3 times, and I found it a very peaceful, far more peaceful than what we have in our jurisdiction here.
Okay. According to the media, the biggest issue separating Sinn Féin and the DUP is the question of the Irish Language Act. Do you think the Sinn Féin are doing the right thing and insisting on a standalone Irish Language Act as a prerequisite for going back into power again?
No, I don't, in any shape, way or form. Anyone that knows Northern Ireland knows that demand by Sinn Féin, it would be impossible to be accepted. Even in this jurisdiction, in the 26 counties, a lot of people nearly want to get rid of Irish because it's not spoken of and widely. No matter what politicians or the people years ago tried making it compulsory, it just didn't succeed. If people wish to learn the Irish language, let them do it of their own volition and expense. They enshrined it here in the government, and look at the result. Negligible. So in the north, Sinn Féin, which are so anxious to take power in this jurisdiction, seem to put up obstacles in the north to exercise power. A very strange kind of a way to behave by any political party.
Mm-hmm. The Conservative Party actually stand in elections in Northern Ireland, but they only usually get about 3,000 votes in total. Do you think the Fine Gael and Fianna Fail should contest the elections in Northern Ireland also?
No, I don't, because who's going to vote for them? The Nationalists, Catholics, generally speaking, have other parties to vote for, the SDLP and maybe the Alliance, which is Protestant Light, maybe the Alliance, but the SDLP was the party with the famous John Hume and Seamus Mallon, that marvellous member of Northern Ireland Assembly, or whatever they called it at the time. He was the great leaders. Ivan Cooper was another. Paddy Delville was another. And not least, the man become a lord, I can't just think of his name. They were great leaders. They brought or put Northern Ireland on the map as regards the world and Europe. And so there was a great groundswell for them to try and bring peace. Our great Taoiseach Albert Reynolds was instrumental when they become Taoiseach and Prime Minister of this country in bringing some of these people together, including the extreme Protestants and the extreme nationalists representing Catholics. Now, Sinn Féin have policies that don't represent the views of Catholics, by way of being pro-abortion and various other issues. And now they're calling for, in this jurisdiction, they're calling for the resignation of the Garda Commissioner. I mean, I wish they'd shut their mouth about that kind of thing. Let the Garda Commissioner do her duty, or whatever Garda Commission is on, is in charge. They've already got rid of one Garda Commissioner.
Okay, I just want to say that you mentioned Albert Reynolds there. Fianna Fail have said they will contest elections in Northern Ireland in 2019. Do you believe them?
Well, maybe I do. When I said that they shouldn't waste their time up there, maybe they should, because the SDLP are not getting the votes that they deserve. Now, Sinn Féin are getting all the nationalist votes, and they have an abstentionist policy. So the nationalist point of view in Westminster has not been put forward. They're making obstacles in 6 counties to form a government, to have the country, some kind of stability in the country, in Northern Ireland. Before that, they wanted Eileen Foster to be not to be the First Minister. So they keep moving the goalposts all the time. They're a party that I certainly wouldn't like to have to do any business with, because I wouldn't trust them.
Do you think we're far off from a 32 county Ireland with one government, flag and police force? And do you think that today in 2017 we are closer to that than, say, the 1970s or the 1980s?
Matter of fact, we're further apart. And the reason is very simple. You've only got to go to the north of Ireland and see the prosperity that's there, to see the way everything seems to run smoothly. Actually, the money poured into Northern Ireland by Britain has made a great difference to that neck of the woods. I believe nationalists would not vote to come into this jurisdiction, because they've seen the effects of our laws in this country. It's gone against. It's not really represented, to my way of thinking, of the people of the country, because of the decline of the towns and villages. The towns and villages up there, Enniskillen and various other towns nearly, seem to me to be thriving. And Belfast also, and various other places that they have of historical interest. I believe they're getting more tourists up in the 6 counties now than we're getting here. So okay. I don't see the idea that there would be a 32 county republic or in time to come. There may very well have been, if everything was run down here in such a way as it was the envy of Britain, perhaps, and the envy of the world. It's the calibre of life here, not so much the employment, which is good, very good, but it's the lack of direction, the antisocial behaviour. I go so far as to say the number of people that have come in from other jurisdictions in all sections and walks of life, including hospitals and everywhere, whose command of the English language and culture is more or less zilch. You don't see that same evidence up in the north. far as he can see, as you see down here. So we have, from the point of view of people's observation now and their perception, I certainly don't see it happening anytime soon, if ever, unless this jurisdiction becomes a bit more coherent and a bit more listening to what the people say, and stop telling them that they're racist when they feel we're overrun with people from other jurisdictions. Stop insulting decent Irish people constantly the way they do, and making it impossible for them to express an opinion contrary to whatever it is agenda that they have.
So what would be your message to young people in the south of Ireland today who didn't grow up during the Troubles, in terms of the aspiration to see a united Ireland?
Well, why would they want to see a united Ireland with a government that has a proposition of what they call a baptism barrier? Why would they want to be in a government, young people, if they're vanting between the rears? Why would they want to be in a government where they propose to make what they call soft drugs, which is a misnomer, cannabis and other despicable drugs, legal? Why would any person even want to visit the country with that carry on?
I know, but in terms of united Ireland, I mean, young people don't understand, the newer generations, what the Troubles were like.
Well, they should do, because I presume to study history, I presume to have parents and grandparents. Whether they know that if you put your hand in the fire you get burned, I mean, they have to have some bit of intelligence. Are you
saying that the young people in the south of Ireland shouldn't aspire to a united Ireland?
No, not quite. If that's what they think would be a good thing, well then let them work towards it in a peaceful manner, not the manner that was worked at for 30 years with the killing of innocent people and all that. So if it's a peaceful, democratic manner, by all means, democratic, peaceful, no other way. And if you run your affairs in this jurisdiction that commends itself to other people, then you may very well have reunification. So I'd recommend young people to get involved in politics or something of that calibre, and to encourage this unification, and to make sure that the policies pursued in this country is for the good of all the people, all the Irish people in the country.
That's a very, very positive message, John, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much.